Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and it's 13th August 2025, just 2 days away from football returning, 2 days away from Ligue returning, and I'm here to make my predictions for season 25-26. Last year was quite a good season, and it was quite an interesting season. We had an amazing season from Strasbourg where they shocked everybody and almost qualified for the Champions League, but they ended up playing qualifying for Europe anyway. You had PSG, continuing PSG winning the league. It looked like it was going to be a three-way title race, between Marseille, Monaco, and PSG. But unfortunately, Marseille and Monaco faltered, and PSG went on to, win the title. We had some, sad relegations in Montpellier, in Saint Etienne, both of them going back down. Unfortunately, Reims also lost their playoff relegation and promotion playoff game, and they also went down. Three new teams in Lorient, in PSG, in Paris FC, not PSG. That is a big problem in Paris FC, and Metz are coming up into the in a Liga, and of course the big summer that Lyon had, getting relegated, then getting reinstated. A lot has happened over the last 2.5 months since the season has ended, and the season is about to start. So let's go ahead and make our prediction. At number 18, unfortunately, I'm going with Metz. They won that relegation promotion playoff game against Reims, but to be very honest with you, their transfer business has not been that really good, and they have lost three important players in Arthur Atta. They have lost him. They have lost Arnaud Bodat as well, and I think that the lack of experience from these players, the players that really help them come up to Liga, it is going to be really crucial. And the players that they have brought in, I'm not really that impressed with them, and I think that is going to be a big problem for Metz. And I think unfortunately for them, their stay in Liga is going to be quite short, and they are going to go straight back down to League 2. Number 17, I've gone with a team that I have really started to like in Ligue. I mean, they almost got relegated last season as well. They are one of the most entertaining teams of the league, if I'm being very honest with you. You watch their games, and they are always entertaining. Whether they win, whether they lose, that doesn't matter, but it's always an entertaining game. As I said, they almost got relegated last season as well, but somehow managed to scrape past 7 points in the last 4 games. That saved them and put them into in Liga this season. But to be very honest with you, I just don't see them staying this year. They have had a major overhaul in their team, about 10 new players coming in the squad, and I think that by the time they adjust to the system, they adjust playing with each other, I think it is going to be quite long. And unfortunately, I think that is why Ligue are going to get relegated. I think they are going to finish 17th, and they're going to go back down to League 2. At number 16, I'm going with Lorient. They won League 2 last year quite comfortably. But to be very honest with you, their transfer business, I am not really impressed with that. I just don't see, any player that is going to come up and that's going to really help them in a Liga. They have not really signed any player that excites me, that really improves their squad, if I'm being very honest with you. And I think, there's, if I'm being very honest, there's a coin flip between them and Ligue. One of them could finish 17th, and other one could finish 16th, and I have gone with Aliavar at 17. And I think Lorient, just because of the jubilation of winning the League 2, just because they are the champions, they are going to be much more excited. They have that squad. They've not had that many exits from the squad, and I think that is why that I have put them on 16, that they might still have a chance in that relegation promotion player, but I don't think they are going to have a good season. I think they're going to struggle, and it is going to be a very hard season for the other Lorient fans. At number 15, I'm going with Onjo. They had an okay sort of season last year, back in Liga last year, and they survived relegation. It looked like at one point that they might be in trouble, but they had won enough games, and the teams below them were quite bad, and that really helped Onjo. But if I'm being very honest with you, I think their summer has been quite poor. They have not really brought in anybody of importance. They have not really invested in the squad, and I think that could be a real problem for them. I think they are going to win the relegation battle. I don't think it's going to be an easy season for them. They had in my opinion, they would have had a much better season last year as compared to this year. I think they are really going to struggle, but just because of the experience of last year, and just because the teams below them, the 3 teams, I don't think they are going to be able to counter Onjor. I think they are going to sneak past yet again. I think they are going to survive, and I think they are going to finish 15th in the table. At 14th, I've gone with Nons, and they barely survived relegation last year. Nons, again, yet another team that barely scraped through that relegation fight and somehow managed to stay in the season in a Liga. But again, it is one of those teams. They have not had anything done in the summer window, and plus they have lost Anathan Zize and they have lost Moses Simon. Both of them were really crucial for them last season. They really helped them stay in the league. But as I said, they have left the club and they have not been properly replaced. And I would not be surprised, if I had to go for a shocking pick. If I'm being very honest with you, I would say Nons get relegated. I've kept them. I've put them in 14th place. But they might end up being the surprise and a shocking package of the season, that Nons end up getting relegated. Like nobody thought Montpellier were going to have such a bad season. I think Nons might be that team. A lot of us think they are going to struggle, but not. I don't think most of us are going to put them in that relegation zone. But I still think they might end up getting relegated. But at the moment, I am keeping them at 14th. Number 13, Toulouse, another one of those teams that had a really, really underwhelming season last year, to be very honest with you. I mean, they finished mid-table, but again, it was not what you would have expected from Toulouse. And again, I don't know, their transfer business, I really am not really a fan of that. They have already lost Zakaria Abul Khal. He was, their top goal scorer last season, and they have not replaced him. I look at that Toulouse score, and I don't know from where the goals are going to come. I think they might not lose that many games. They are good defensively, but scoring wise, I just don't see goals coming in. I think they are going to draw a lot of games this year, but somehow, some way, they are going to survive. They are going to end up finishing at 13th. At 12th, I'm going to go with Rennes. I mean, they had quite a weird season. It looked certain that they were going to go down. They had a really, really, a bad run of form. They looked, it felt like they forgot how to play football and nothing was going for them. And then somehow, some way, in the last couple of months, they somehow win the games and barely survived and ended up finishing a mid-table. I really did not think that was going to happen. But again, their squad has not been improved. The money has not been spent. And a lot of focus is going to be on Akela Munde. They are going to hope that he can continue his goal scoring form from last season, because if not, then again they are going to struggle. There are a lot of teams out of the top 10 that can change their places quite easily, especially from the teams like from 11th to 15th. Sorry, these 4 or 5 teams, I don't think they can go anywhere. Because of not spending the money good, and the players that they have left them, they have not really replaced them. And again, Rennes are one of those teams as well. And as I said before, Kellerman needs to be on his top form. Otherwise, Rennes are really, really gonna struggle. Up next, it's Paris FC. They are going to finish 11th in my season. They got promoted as the runners-up of our League 2, and they have spent a good amount of money. They have brought in players that have, really strengthened their squad, that have made their squad better. They have let go of, a good number of players, but, most of them, I would say, they have upgraded on the players that have left them, and I think they are going to be, a really a good team this season. I just sort of think of them like Auxerre last year. They came in, they showed quite a lot of people. They won their games, and I think with the wave of support that Paris FC have, I think they are going to be a really good team in Liga. And of course, they are coming back after about 20 years absence in Liga, and I think that is going to be a really, really crucial for them, and that the fans are going to be behind them, and you are going to have those exciting games whenever Paris are going to play. And that Parisian derby between PSG and Paris FC, that is one game, even though everybody thinks that PSG are going to win, but that derby is going to be really, really special, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I think Paris FC are going to shock a lot of people, and I think they are going to have a really, really good season back in a Liga. Number 10, I'm going with Auxerre. I think they had a really good season back in Liga last year. They could have, easily finished in the top 10. There were times, in the season last year where they were very close to European places as well. They faltered in the end because of lack of experience and not having that many players in their squad. But the summer that they have had, the transfers that they have, they have done, the players that they have brought in, they have really strengthened their squad. They have gained experience as well. So I think they are going to have a much better season, and that is why I think that the top 10 finish for them is not out of order. That is why I am putting them in the 10th place at the moment. I still think maybe a couple more players and they might finish even higher than 10th, but currently I think Auxerre are going to finish 10th. Number 9, I'm going with West. I mean, they had quite a good season last year, eventful season. They finished ninth last year as well. They won in the Champions League. Everybody was talking about them. Everybody expected them to have a drop off because playing in Europe and again playing in Saturday, Sunday, 2 games in a week is never really easy. But I still think they had a really good season, and I think they are going to have another season. They are going to have a crack at those European places. But unfortunately, I think they are going to fall short yet again. I think it will be interesting for West. They are going to be entertaining like last season, but as I say, they are going to fall short, and I think they are going to end up finishing a ninth. Number 8, I'm going with Lyon. I mean, they have had quite a summer, haven't they? From one moment, qualifying for the Europa League, then to getting relegated, then getting reinstated. Unfortunately, they have had to sell a lot of their important players that has really affected them. They have brought in players, but they are not really at that the level of the players that have left, and I think that is really going to affect them. They are going to rely a lot on Bekatadze to come up and start scoring the goals. But as I said, a lot of talent has left that Lyon squad, and I think that is one of the reasons they are going to struggle. They are going to play in Europe as well, but the squad that they have, again, I keep on saying that is why the players that they've brought in, they are not really up to the level, and I think that is why Lyon are going to drop down, and I think they could drop down further than this, but just because they have the experience, and the fans, what has happened to them, and then over the summer getting relegated, and the fact that they came back, I think that is going to have some sort of effect on the players, and that might keep them inside top 10. But I think it is not going to be in the top bracket. I think they are going to finish 8th. Number 7, I'm going with Nice. They qualified for the Champions League last year. They had a really good season. They qualified based on goal difference, and I think the fans are really expecting something special from Nice. But the fact is, again, they are going to play 2 games in a week. They are going to play the Champions League, then they have to play Saturday, Sunday as well. And the fact that they have lost Evan Gosens as well, I think that is a big a miss for Nice. He was their player of the season in my opinion, top goal provider, top assist provider. He was the main man for them, and not only have they lost him, they have not properly replaced him as well, and I think that is going to be a huge trouble for them. There's still time for the transfer window to close, and they really need to go out and bring in another player that can really help them in the goal scoring department. Otherwise, it's going to be quite a hard season for them. That is why I don't think they are going to do that good in the Champions League, and I don't think they are going to qualify for Europe as well. That is why I think they are going to finish 7th in the league. Number 6, I'm going with Lens. I think they had a really good season last year, and they were quite unfortunate to miss out on those European places. And the one thing in a way that is going to be helpful for them, that the teams around them this year, they are all going to be in those European places, in European competition, and they are going to have 2-3 games a week. Whereas Lens are not going to have. And the summer business that they have done, they have brought in quite good players. They have strengthened their squad. They have not lost that many important players from their squad, and I think that is going to help them out. I think they are going to sneak in to those European places. I think they might end up qualifying for the Conference League, and if things go well for the French team, they might even qualify for the Europa League. So that is there as well. But I think at the moment, with the way that other teams have been playing and the businesses other teams have done, I think Lens are going to end up finishing 6th. At 5th, I'm going with Lille. They missed out on Champions League football last year based on goal difference, and unfortunately, I think they are going to miss out on Champions League football this year yet again. They have lost 2 of their most important players in Lucas Chevalier, who has ended up, joining PSG, and they have lost Jonathan David who has left the club on a free. And the fact of the matter is, they have not really replaced them, and I think that is going to be a problem for them. They are going to be playing that European football. They might not be in the Champions League, but they are in the Europa League, so they are going to be playing, 2 competitions. They are going to be playing 2 games, maybe 3 games a week. So that is going to hurt them. And the fact that 2 of your most important players have left the club, and the fact that you have not replaced them, I think that is quite astounding for a club like Lille. I mean, they have not spent their money wisely, if I'm being very honest with you. Their biggest signing of the summer is Olivier Giroud. I mean, I like Giroud. I'm an Arsenal fan. I think he did his stuff at Arsenal, but to me it looks like a nostalgia. He's about 40 years old. I don't think he's gonna come in and he set the place on fire. And I just don't understand why they went for him. There were other options. There were other cheaper options that they could have gone and improve their squad, but they've decided to go with him. And they have brought in other players as well. Again, I keep on saying, a lot of French clubs this season, a lot of clubs in the league. I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them have let go of players, and the players that they have replaced them with, I mean, them, it's not like they are better than them. They're not on the same level as them. That's quite concerning, to be very honest with you. And Lille have done the same thing, and I think that is one of the reasons why I think they are going to miss out on the Champions League yet again, and they are going to finish fifth. Number 4, I'm going with Strasbourg. I mean, they had an amazing season last year. They almost qualified for the Champions League, but they missed out based on inexperience. They are in the in European competition. They are going to play the Conference League, so that is going to be big for them. They are going to learn that as well, and I think that is going to really help them. Liam Rosian has extended his contract as well, and I think he deserved it. I mean, what he's doing at Strasbourg is a really a great thing, and a great project at Strasbourg. And I think they are going to get better this year. I think they are going to finish fourth, and they are going to qualify for the those Champions League qualification games. They have brought in Hawkin Pesciarelli. I mean, he scored about 20 goals last season, and I mean, if you are bringing in a player who scored 20 goals last season, that is already a big thing. They already have Emmanuel Amaga, who scored 14 goals last season. So you now have two excellent young strikers who are hungry for goals, who are fight each other, are going to fight each other for the places. There's going to be competition in the squad, and that is always healthy for the squad. And I think their transfer business overall has been quite good. They are still going on. They are still linked with other players as well. And I think you are going to see a couple of more signings coming, and Strasbourg are going to be a real danger this season. And I they might end up finishing in the top 3 as well. I think they are going to have an excellent season. At the moment, I'm going with the hierarchy, going with the status quo, and that is why I'm letting them finish in number 4 in Liga. Number 3, I'm going with Monaco. I would say they might be the team that might drop in, and Strasbourg might surprise and finish in in their place. But as of now, I'm going with Monaco on 3rd. They had quite an eventful season last year. They were in that 3-way title race with PSG and Marseille, but unfortunately faltered around February and March. They got out of the Champions League quite early. Their business has been quite interesting. I mean, they have brought in Lucas Haratsky from Leverkusen, but then they have gone ahead and brought in Eric Dyer. They brought in Paul Pogba. Both of them have come in as free agents. I mean, the most the eyeballs are on Paul Pogba. It will be interesting to see how he plays and how important and crucial he can be. I mean, both of them are really experienced players. Eric Dyer going to come in. He's going to play that centre back position, bringing that experience to this Monaco squad. And of course, Pogba, we all know what he can do. But the question is, can he do it now? He has not played for a number of years. He's coming back. He's going to play for Monaco. There's going to be pressure. Everybody's going to be looking at him, and this is a World Cup year. He's going to be looking at that France squad. Maybe try to get back in that squad. It will be interesting to see. And they have brought in Ansu Fati on loan from Barcelona as well. So they have had quite a good business. They have not had many major departures. So they would hope that this year they can be in the title race much longer than they were last year. But I still think it is going to be a tough season for them, and I don't think it's going to be a 3-way race, if I'm being very honest with you. I think they are going to be much more fighting for those Champions League places with the teams below them, rather than fighting for the title. But I think they are going to finish a 3rd in the table. At number 2, I'm going with Marseille. I think they had an amazing season under De Zerbi last year, and I think this season is going to be much better for them as compared to last year. I think the inexperience caused them the title. I mean, they were really going for it, but at the end they faltered. And I think one of the reasons was, as I said, inexperience, and they really did not have enough players in that squad. And PSG went on to win the title. But I think this year it's going to be a lot more, a tougher the title race. I think to PSG are going to be really under the caution, and Marseille are really going to push them. They have had an amazing transfer window as well. They have brought in Igor Pichau. I mean, he scored 16 goals and 14 assists last season. He had an incredible last year, and Marseille fans would hope that he can replicate his form for them as well. They have also brought in Timothée Weah and Facundo Medina on loans as well. Whereas they've Angel Gomez, Egan Riley, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, all of them have come in as free agents as well. So they have brought in a really good set of players, and they have not had major departures. And then Mason Greenwood, the season that he had last year, he would as I said, they are going to gain experience from last year, and with these all these players coming in, they are going to have a much bigger score, and they are going to have a much better score as compared to last year. I think they are going to have a good Champions League run as well, but for that title I think it is going to be really tight. unfortunately for them, I'm just going with the history. They might surprise everybody and they might go ahead and win the title, and I will not be surprised if Marseille end up winning the title. I will not be that surprised, if I'm being very honest with you. But at the moment, I'm going for Marseille to finish second. And number one, of course, PSG. I mean, they were breathtakingly amazing last year. They won everything there was to be won. Apart from that Club World Cup, how they lost that final, I still have no idea. But they were amazing last year. This year again, I think they are going to have a tough time this year. I think it is going to be a really close title race between them and Marseille. They have not had that many signings this year. They have only brought in Lucas Chevalier, and again, I cannot believe that this is happening when last year, I mean, Donnarumma has been completely frozen out from the club. They have told him he's not going to play for them again, and they have brought in a single goalkeeper. There are rumors, there are negotiations going on for other players to come in, but as of now they have just made one signing and they are reliant. They think they already have a good enough squad to defeat everybody in the league. I think they still do. I think they have a really good squad, and I think it is going to be a really exciting season for PSG. And I keep on saying them. I put them at number one, but I will not be surprised if they end up losing the title to Marseille. But as of now, PSG are going to be my champions. So that is it. These are my predictions for Liga season 25-26. Some of them are quite surprising, some of them are not surprising, and unfortunately 2 out of the 3 teams who got promoted, I think, are going to go back straight down. Let me know what you guys think of the of my predictions in the comment section below. Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Who do you think I put wrong? Who do you think I got completely right? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 550 subscribers before the end of the transfer window, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.